I am successful. I look for and find opportunities where others see nothing. I am a lifetime learner. I am solution focused. I see only solutions. I am a solution. Let me formally welcome you to the Be Transformed Tribe. The Catalyst, my name is Lanre Olusola. And this is your dual go-to space for very practical, spirit, mind-transforming conversations that empower you to overcome life's biggest challenges. Today, we're talking about relationship. Marriage, I'm preparing for marriage, and this is one of the greatest areas of challenges. Yes. You cannot succeed without your mind being transformed, without your spirit being empowered, without you being activated to be all that you were created to be. Honestly, there are many questions that you must ask before you say, I do. You see, questions are not just sentences, they are very spiritual, emotional, and intellectual tools for discovery and discernment. Questions open doors that nothing else will open. Questions, bring you into the truth of who somebody is and the reality of what you are entering into. Honestly, a question is simply a sentence that is expressed to get information. But the quality of your life, the quality of your marriage will always reflect the quality of questions that you asked, the quality of questions that you continue to ask. So it's not just about asking the questions before you say I do. It's about also asking follow-up questions after you have said I do. If you ask the wrong questions, you will get the wrong answers. And the wrong answers will not serve you, neither will they serve your destiny. It was Anthony Robbins that said that learning to ask empowering questions is a very critical skill that will shape the quality of your life. Deming reminded us, if you do not know how to ask the right questions, you will discover nothing. Sula nailed it when he says that there are no right answers to wrong questions. So if you want a right marriage, start asking the right questions when you are dating. Because he who asks a question is a fool for only 5 minutes. But he who does not ask remains a fool. And that is a Chinese proverb. Now, marriage is too permanent a decision to walk into blindly or based on your feelings alone. Asking deep, empowering questions is how you protect your heart, your peace, your purpose, and most importantly, protect your life. On a lighter note, why do you think dating that leads to marriage is called courtship? I want you to answer that in the chat room. Why do you think that dating that leads to marriage is often called courtship? I want you to answer that question for me in the chat room. Courtship. Why is it called courtship? Why isn't it called dating plus? Why isn't it called something else? Why do they call it courtship? Quickly in the chat room, I want you to answer that question. Yes, ID says because it's a time to ask questions like you are in. That's right. You are in the dugout. That's right. You are in the testimony box. Yes. You are on trial. Very, very powerful. It's a season, a time of trial. That's right. To settle differences. Yes. To discover differences, to settle differences. So, what do lawyers do in court? What do judges do in court? What is the most powerful tool that a lawyer can have when he's facing a plaintiff or a defendant? What's the most powerful tool that the lawyers use to bring down the wall? Yes, evidence. How do you discover that evidence? How do you put the opponent, on the hot seat? Cross-examination through questions. That's why it's called a courtship. You're examining You are looking for evidence. You are doing cross-examination. You are looking for the truth that will set you free, the truth that will establish your point, the truth that will save your life or your finances. So that is the exact reason why it's called courtship. I don't know why, but I'm just assuming that is why it's intentionally called courtship. So now, before you say I do, there are 11 critical categories of questions that you must ask. Yes. And each of these categories, they help you see beyond romance. Yes, they help you see with the lenses of reality. Because many people are blinded by something that they call love, infatuation, or romance. Once you get into that slope, reality fades away. Oh, yes, reality fades. So, asking questions, honestly, especially in these 11 critical categories, they help you put on a new lenses, the lens of reality. Now, what are those 11 critical categories? And take notes. You know, you need to ask questions about their relationship status or their marital status. First question, relationship and marital status. I'm going to further break down, these, as I go on. The second category of questions you want to ask is questions about their values and their belief system. Very, very important. The third category of questions you want to ask is you want to ask questions about their religion and spirituality. Number 4, you want to ask questions about sex. Hello? Sex. Yes, I said it. Sex. Number 5, you want to ask questions about their friends and about their family. Yeah. Their friends, their siblings, their parents, the relationships that they have with friends and family. Number 6, you want to ask questions about their personality. Number 7, you want to ask questions about their money and their career, or their money and their business. Oftentimes, money is tied to career, or money is tied to the business that they run. So you want to ask them very, very powerful, pertinent questions about their money and their career, or their money and their business. Number 8, you want to ask them questions about their health, their body, and their well-being. That's right. Their health, their body, and their well-being, spiritual, emotional, mental, and physical. Number 9, you want you want to ask questions about the future. Oh yeah, the future, the future, the future. Now, these are questions that you want to ask your partner directly. Now, the 10th category of questions you don't ask your partner. These are questions that you ask through observation. You observe your partner with other people. You observe your partner in his natural habitat, or in his natural environment. If he's around with his friends, observe. If he's around with his siblings, observe. If he's around with his parents, observe. If he's around in his business, observe. If he's around with waiters, people that are less than him, subordinates, observe. If he's around with his peers, observe. If he's around with people that are more powerful and richer than him, observe. Observe your partner to be, or your wife or your husband to be, around different kinds of people and around different kinds of environments. Observe. Observation is a powerful, powerful kind of question. And the 11th category of questions you want to ask is you want to ask yourself some very, very critical questions. Benny, 11 categories of questions that you must ask. Now, these 11 categories are so important that I'm going to break them down one by one. So when we're talking about the category of questions that center around relationships and their marital status, This really matters. Why does it matter? Because you've got to clarify and eliminate any kind of confusion. Many people have entered marriages where they did not fully understand their partner's past, their partner's commitments, their partner's current entanglements. Now, the critical questions that you want to ask, I'm going to share with you five, just five, even though I have a lot of questions you can ask, but I'm going to share with you just five critical questions you can ask in the area of relationships and marriage. Are you currently in any romantic or emotional relationship with someone else? Are you currently in any romantic or emotional relationship with somebody else? Number two, have you ever been married, engaged, or have you ever cohabited with anyone before? Number three, do you have children, whether the children are biological or they are adopted? Number four, how did your last relationship end? And what did you learn from those relationships? How did your past relationships, especially the last few ones, how did they end? And what did you learn from those relationships? Number five, what's your current relationship with your exes? Mm. What is your current relationship with your exes? Very, very important. These questions matter. Why? Because you must know what and who you are really committed to. Their secrets, their unresolved ties, and the emotional baggage that can destroy trust later on. Let me give you an example. Somebody that you are in a relationship with is still emotionally tied to his ex. Huh? This person may never fully bond with you as one because you'll be fighting invisible rivals. And this is why asking relationships and marital status questions is so, so, so important. The second category of questions is questions about values. Why does this matter? Do you know that values are the non negotiable compass of life? That's right. Compatibility is not just about love, it's about aligned values. That's right. And you must ask your partner, what does commitment mean to you? Because you see, commitment may mean something else to you and to your partner. So what does commitment really mean to you? What are your top five values in your life? Number three, how do you define success and how do you define failure? Number four, what are your deal breakers, the things that you can never compromise on? Wow. Number five, how do you make major decisions? Now, these answers to these questions are very vital because if your values clash, you will constantly be in conflict or head on collision with your so called partner. Love without shared values is like building a house on sand. Let me give you another example. If you value integrity and your partner believes that everyone cheats a little, your marriage is already on fire before it starts. Third category of questions is about religion and spirituality. And this really matters because faith defines our worldview. Faith defines our worldview. Faith defines our sense of purpose. Faith defines our parenting style. Faith defines our culture and our tradition. It's the foundation of your moral compass, your spiritual DNA. That's right. That's right. And you've got to ask, what is your relationship with God like? First question. Second question is, what role does faith play in your daily life? Hmm. Number three, how do you view prayer? How do you view giving? How do you view living purposefully? Number four, how do you want to raise your children spiritually? Number five, how do you handle differences in spiritual beliefs? and religious beliefs. How do you handle differences of spiritual and religious beliefs? Now, these matter so much because you cannot build divine purpose with spiritual confusion. Amos 3:3 says, "Can two walk together except they agree?" Let me give you an example in this instance, right? You have your partner, and your partner is an atheist, and you are a very religious and devoted Muslim or a very religious and devoted Christian. This will be a constant battle. Oh, yes. Because you are the only one that would uphold that whole family spiritually. All warfare will be yours to fight. All spiritual battles will be yours to fight. And that will be your lifestyle. The fourth category of questions, sex. Questions about sex. Why does this matter? A lot of people have different, experiences with sex coming from their backgrounds. Some believe that sex is dirty. Some believe that God doesn't have a part to do with sex. Some believe that sex is a bondage. Oh, yes. So if you have misaligned expectations, if you have misaligned definitions, right, of what sex is, it will destroy your intimacy. And intimacy is a very critical part of marriage. So here are 5 critical questions you can ask about sex. What does sexual intimacy mean to you? You must sit down and have that conversation. What exactly does sexual intimacy mean to you? What are your expectations about sex in marriage? What are your expectations about sex in marriage? Number 3, how often do you desire sexual intercourse and intimacy? Regularity, how do you like it? What do you like? You must talk about it. Very, very important. What are the boundaries and what are the red flags? What are your boundaries? How far won't you go? And what are the red flags? Number 5, do you struggle with pornography? Are you struggling with a kind of sexual trauma? Are you struggling with a past sexual experience that currently affects you and affects your sexual life? These questions matter because sexual compatibility is a spiritual thing. Sexual compatibility is an emotional thing. Sexual compatibility is a mental thing. And lastly, sexual compatibility is a physical thing. Silence will birth resentment later on. Get to the bottom of it. Let me give you an example in this regard. You have a partner who is struggling with a sexual trauma or an addiction and hides it. It may later manifest as rejection, abuse, or misuse. So get into it and have that conversation. The 5th category of questions you want to ask is questions around friends and family. This is so, so, so important because you're not just marrying that person. You are marrying their family system and their social system. That's right. You are not marrying that person alone. You are marrying the person's background. You are marrying the person's family system and you are marrying that person's social system. And here are 5 critical questions you want to ask. What's your relationship with your parents and your siblings like? They will tell you, but I'm going to come back to remember the 10th category of questions that you want to ask is by observation. You will ask them, you will take notes. But when it gets to observation, you will observe as well. Number 2, how involved should in-laws be in our marriage? Very, very important. So, how involved do you think your parents should be? Your siblings should be in our marriage. My parents and my siblings. Talk about it. Number 3, how do you handle family disagreements? How do you handle setting boundaries for your family members and your friends? How do you handle loyalty? Because if your partner is loyal, to his or her family. It may mean that the level of loyalty to them is higher than the level of loyalty to you and your own nuclear family. You have to talk about it. Number four question: who are your closest friends and how did they influence you? Very, very important. Who are your closest friends and how do they influence you? Now, this is something that you must also observe. You must follow your partner to where all his friends are. Hang around with them in the natural space that they hang around. When they go and watch football, you hang there. When they go and drink, you hang there. When they're around with chicks, you hang there. You observe. When they have told you how their friends influence them and how they behave around their friends, you must hang with them and observe. That's why we recommend that courtship is not supposed to be something that you do in 3 months or 6 months because there's just too much that people can hide in 6 months. Oh, you are even with someone for 3 years, they're still hiding stuff. You are with someone for 3, 5 years, they're still hiding stuff. All their life, man, stuff come out that they do not even know that are hidden. So, who are your closest friends and how do you behave and how do they influence you when you're with them? The fifth question under friendships and family is: what's your expectation of holidays and family traditions? Do you want to travel with every member of your family and your friends? Instead of us to go with the children alone for summer holiday, you want to go with everybody and you want to stay in the same space with everybody. Must clarify what are your expectations about holiday travels and what are your family traditions. You must sort it out. Now, this matters because marriages fail not because of the couple, but because of the unhealthy attachments and interference by friends and family. That's right. The couple are not the ones that cause the marriage to fail. External influence, mostly influence from friends and influence from family. If he's a mommy's boy or she's a daddy's girl, your marriage will have a third wheel from day one. Mommy's girl will be influenced by mommy. Daddy's boy will be influenced by daddy. Daddy's girl will be influenced by daddy. Mommy's boy will be influenced by mommy. A third party is more in control in your marriage than both of you. The sixth category of questions you want to ask questions about their personality and behavior. Oh, yes, this really matters because behavior is what turns into personality and it shapes how we see ourselves. It shapes how we relate with other people. It shapes how we communicate internally within ourselves and communicate with other people. It influences how we handle stress and ultimately how we express intimacy. Hmm. Man, the critical questions you want to ask when we're talking about behavior and personality is: how do you handle anger and conflict? How do you handle anger and conflict? Are you introverted or extroverted? Number three, how do you recharge? Alone or with people? Hmm. What is your love language? And how do you handle disappointment and failure? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. How do you handle too much money when it comes suddenly? They say you will know a man when he suddenly loses all his money or when he suddenly makes money. And the true nature of a man will emerge. You will ask, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are you passionate about? And all of these questions. Why do this matter? Marriage requires emotional intelligence. It requires knowing how your partner processes life. It will help prevent you walking on eggshells and prevent emotional landmines. Someone who has an avoidant personality marries someone who is confrontational. This will lead to endless emotional tension. Category number 7: questions about money, career, and business. It matters because money is the number one reason for marital conflict. Financial transparency leads to emotional intimacy. If people cannot be show integrity with money, they will cheat. They will cheat. So what are the critical questions you want to ask? What's your view on saving, on investing, on spending and debt? You want to know what's your view on saving, investing, spending and debt? Number two, who manages the money in your home, your father or your mother? Number three, how do you see giving tithing, being generous, and how do you see, helping the less privileged? How? Number four, what are your career goals? What are your business goals? What is your business vision? What's your career vision in the next 5 to 10 years? Where do you see yourself financially? And where do you see where do you see yourself concerning your career and your business? Number five, how do you harmonize work or business and quality family time? Now, these questions are so important because financial values actually reveal people's true character. If one partner is a spender and the other is a saver, omo, yawa go gas in that family. I want you to imagine a partner who hides his debts, who hides his overspending, personality, and sabotages the entire family's financial security. Someone that gambles, someone that hides his debt and is always in debt, someone that overspends. Yawa go gas. Wala go gas. Now, the eighth category of questions you want to ask are questions about your health, your body, and your well being. And this matters because your body is your life vehicle. Marriage involves shared health realities, whether it is spiritual, whether it's mental, whether it's emotional, whether it's psychological or physical. And there are critical questions you must ask. Do you have any medical conditions? Do you have any genetic issues? Or are you struggling with any addiction? When we are asking about medical conditions, it is mental, emotional, and physical. You must ask, the second question you want to ask is, how do you take care of your health and your fitness? And you must observe this one too. You must ask, take note, then observe. Honestly, because when the health issues kick in, your finances are gone. All your money will go into treating health issues. Oh, don't get into it. Oh, yes, they must give you full disclosure. Oh, yes, with evidence. Number three, what's your approach to mental health, therapy, and coaching? So I beg, leave that thing. Leave that thing. In today's world, wahala go gas later on. Number four, how do you manage stress? What are your stress triggers? And what are your coping mechanisms? Number five, what are your habits around hygiene, rest, sleep, and diet? What is your blood group? What is your blood type? Very, very important. Very, very, what is your blood group? What is your blood type? Don't just assume. These questions are very, very important because unspoken health issues can lead to betrayal, can lead to crashing your finances, can lead to resentment later. You know, imagine someone that hides their issues with infertility, or someone that hides their issues with sickle cell, someone that hides their terminal disease, someone that hides their mental health condition. Omo, it will lead to pain and serious problem in the future. Settle it now. Ask it now. The ninth category of questions is asking questions about the future. This really matters because vision alignment determines marital direction. Let me get you to understand. If both of you are two captains in the same ship, one is going east, the other is going west, that ship will capsize. Oh, yes, both of you must have aligned visions. So their vision about their future is so, so, so important. Vision alignment determines marital direction. You can't walk in peace if you are headed in different directions. And five critical questions you want to ask. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in 7 years? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Where do you see yourself at age 70, age 60? Very, very important, because that's where you end up. And it's more painful when your strength wanes and you are retired. Ah. Second question, do you want children? If yes, how many children? When? And how are we going to take care of them in the future? Their education, their marriage, and everything. Number three, what kind of home and lifestyle do you envision? What kind of home and lifestyle do you envision? Number four, what's your dream retirement or legacy plan? Because by God's grace, you will retire together. If you don't have a retirement plan, how are you going to survive when you are no longer earning? What's your legacy plan? Very, very important. Number five, how do you make long-term decisions together? How do we make long-term decisions together? So it's not just decisions about now or midterm. Oh, yes. How do they see us making long-term decisions together? And this matters because shared vision prevents frustration. Oh, yes. And emotional destruction. So let me give you an example. One partner wants to live abroad. The other one wants to stay where his parents are. Long term, this will lead to chaos. That chaos will be inevitable. You guys must settle it. As in, you must settle it. Now, the 10th category of questions, remember I says that these are questions that you ask through critical observation. And it matters because words can lie, but behavior can never lie, especially when you know what to look out for. Observation is the silent questionnaire of truth. Observe and ask yourself these five questions. How do they treat waiters, drivers, cook, houseboy, a gate man, cleaner, and subordinate? Watch them. Watch them, because if he's a guy, that's how he will invariably treat you. So subordinates, very, very important, how they treat subordinates. Now, this reveals their true character. It reveals whether they have empathy. It reveals whether they are humble. Do they say please? Do they say thank you? To subordinates when they are seeking the service or the help of these people. Number two thing that you want to observe, how do they behave when they are angry, when they are tired, or when they are under stress and pressure? Observe how they behave when they are angry, when they are tired, when they are under stress, and when they are under pressure. This shows whether they are emotionally mature or immature. Shows whether they are emotionally intelligent or they lack emotional intelligence. It shows how volatile they are. That's right. Or how much control they have. Number three thing you want to observe is you want to observe how they handle money in public and in private. You want to observe how they behave when they make instant money or when they lose money. Oh my God. Observe how they behave around people that have plenty money, how they behave around people that they perceive has no money. Do you even know when they have money? Does their behavior change when they don't have money? How can you tell that this guy has money in this season and this guy doesn't have money? Financial maturity, financial prudence, financial intelligence. Oh, yes, financial wisdom. This shows their level of prudence or recklessness, their level of stewardship, and their level of mind maturity. Money is not about cash. Money is a mindset. The fourth thing that you want to observe, how do they treat their parents? How do they treat the women in their family financially? How do they treat the men in their family? How do they treat their friends who they've been friends with since? And how do they treat their old friends when they make new friends who seem successful? Observe. How do they behave around top executives and highly influential people, highly successful people? Observe, observe, observe. This will predict how they will treat you, your children, your parents. Yeah, oh, yes, the fifth thing that you want to observe, how do they behave when they don't have their way? How do they behave when they don't get their way? This reveals whether, they have control tendencies, whether they have narcissistic tendencies, whether they have psychopathic or sociopathic tendencies, and a sense of entitlement. Now, observing exposes what words conceal. Dating is a performance. It is through observation that you discern. Honestly, be observant. Now, the first category of questions that you will ask is questions you will now ask your own self. And I'm going to tell you why this is important. Self-awareness is the foundation of a healthy relationship or marriage. You cannot attract or sustain what you do not understand. Oh, yes, what you do not understand. Oh, yes, you cannot attract or sustain it. What you don't accept, you can't attract it. What you are not, you can't attract it. You attract what you are. So you must ask yourself some pertinent questions. Oh, yes, number one, why do I want to get married? Is it to satisfy something that is unresolved? Is it because of what society will say? Is it because of a fear? Is it because I have an agenda? Is it because this is God's divine purpose for me? Is it because this is God's chosen person for me? Why? Why do you want to get married? Why? 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 Ask yourself. Second question, am I spiritually ready? Am I emotionally ready? Am I mentally ready? Am I physically ready for marriage? Am I financially ready for marriage? Hey, number three. What patterns, what baggage am I bringing from my past? What negative patterns, what negative baggage am I bringing from my past that will cause problem in this marriage? Have I resolved them? Am I in the process of resolving them? Who can help me resolve them? Number four, can I love? Do I understand what love is? Can I forgive? Do I understand what forgiveness is? Can I communicate in a mature way when things break down? It is nice and sweet, and you communicate okay when things are hunky dory. And when things break down, oh yes, am I able to love? Am I able to forgive? Am I able to communicate maturely? Number five, am I ready to give selflessly, not just to receive? Am I in there because of what I want to get, because of my own needs? Or am I in there to give selflessly, irrespective of whether they give or they don't give? Now, these questions, they are so important because 50% of the marriage is you. That's the equation, is 50-50. That's right. So if you're not right, the marriage can never be right. A lot of people point fingers at the other partner, failing to do an audit on themselves because unhealed wounds, unrealistic expectations, or a lack of purpose will sabotage even the greatest relationship and will frustrate even the best partner. So let me give you an example. I have seen that many people jump into marriage without first getting healing. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. They don't need marriage yet. What they need is healing first. So what do you need? What do you need? Now, there are five major things that must be at play before you say you do. Now, number one is friendship and acceptance. Never go into a marriage without acceptance, accepting yourself, accepting your partner as they are, and being friends. Because at the turn of events, when your nest becomes empty, it is this friendship that will keep your marriage, nothing else. So you should never compromise. If you are not friends, that is bestos, and if you have not accepted each other just the way you are not ready yet. Number two, having a knowledge and understanding of each other. A true knowledge and understanding of each other is very important. So there are so many personality tests, strength tests that you must take. How do they think? How do they make decisions? MBTI test, DISC test, different. During courtship is the time when you must take different profiling tests, study each other. Because you see, all these questions, the person may not even be able to fully answer. But when they take psychometric tests, scientific based tests, it will reveal much more. All tests that you are able to take and study them together. It will reveal each other to yourselves, and you will find how you complement each other or complete each other or conflict with each other. Number three, never go into a marriage if you are not forgiving. If you are not able to forgive anything. Hello? Did you hear what I said? You must go into any marriage knowing that offense will come. And before the offense comes, you forgive. Why? Because you will offend each other. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. So forgiveness is the gift that you give in advance. That's why it's called forgive. It is the gift you give in advance, not when the person commits an offense. You have already pre-forgiven. You have already pre-gifted. That's why it is forgive. You gifted before. If you are not willing to do that, it can't work. Number four, kindness. Kindness. Oh, yes. You must be willing to show kindness at all times and in all seasons to the person. The fifth pillar is maturity and emotional intelligence. Without these five pillars, forget no marriage can work. What are the five pillars? Friendship and acceptance. Number two, knowledge and understanding of each other. Number three, forgiveness. Number four, kindness. Number five, maturity and emotional intelligence. You choose peace over being right. You choose peace over justice. These are the five pillars that strong and happy, harmonious relationships and marriages are built upon. Ladies and gentlemen, marriages don't change you. Marriage reveals you. The true you is revealed in marriage. And before you get in there, discover your partner and discover yourself. Let these questions unravel you such that at least a good percentage of you is revealed before you get in there. Then you can now decide that based on this revelation, I'm ready to go with this person for the rest of my life. That's right. You cannot hide forever. You cannot hide forever. So these questions, oh yes, these questions will reveal the true nature of who the person is. So before you say I do, take the time to ask. Even ask yourself, who am I? Who am I not? What am I? What am I not? Who is he or her? Who is she not? What is she? What is she not? And are we together to fulfill God's purpose? Because marriage can shipwreck your destiny. That's right. Go and talk to those who have married wrong. Marriage can sabotage your destiny and your purpose. So, are we supposed to marry? Is it God's purpose and plan for us to marry? Because the key to wisdom is constant and frequent questioning. For by doubting, we're led to question, and by questioning, we arrive at the truth. So let the questions be your compass that leads you to truth. Remember that it is better to be single and wise than to be married and miserable. Honestly, marriage can be torture for many people. So, what's the difference between a red flag and a growth area? And how do you exercise patience and understanding, especially if it's a growth area? And then, how do you ask questions without ensuring that it's an interview, right? Honestly, it's an interview. That's why it's called courtship. That's right. It's an interview. That's why it's called courtship. I thought you want to transition from just friendship, or you want to transition from just dating into marriage. Marriage is a serious business. Oh, yes, it's a serious business. You have to subject them to an interview, and both of you have to interview each other. So it's not something that you are trying to cover or you are trying to gloss over. No, no, it's an interview. It's an interview. And the difference between a red flag and a growth area is the red flag will finish you. The red flag will destroy you. The red flag will create trauma for you. You can smell it. You can see it. You've heard about it. So a lot of us know what red flags are. It's either a red flag in, your spirituality. This one is going to sabotage my relationship with God. This one is going to lock me up at home. I'm not going to be able to be my authentic self or express myself. Oh, yes. This one, when it comes to values and behavior, this one is a narcissist. This one is a sociopath. This one is a psychopath. This one is a control freak. It's not a developmental area. Let them go and sort themselves out first. And let them, yes, yes, yes. This one, their mother controls their life. Oh, yes. The mother controls your partner's life, and your partner is male. Any decision that he wants to make, he has to call his mom, or his mom has to interfere. You say red flag. It's not a growth area. You understand what I'm saying? He wants to buy a car, he will phone his mom. He wants to quit his job, he will phone his mom. He will phone his mom. Or, anything that he wants to do, he will call his mom, she will call a prayer warrior. And the prayer warrior and imam must, you don't have a personal access to your creator, yourself. Somebody must come and they must take you to Bar Beach, and they must go and bath you, and they must go and do this for you and do that for you. And the mother is the one that controls you. You are in big trouble. Big trouble. Look, let's not kid ourselves, right? You have to do a list of no. Things you cannot compromise, especially around your values, your relationship with God, your mental health, your emotional health, the boundaries that you have to do a list, right? Things that, behaviors and things that are no. You have to do your list. And once you have that list, and you will see the red flag, yes, they may be able to change. And that's why you will pause the courtship. Oh, yeah, you pause the courtship if they are serious about you and they are meant for you. Oh, yeah, you pause the courtship, they'll go and deal with the things, and that can transition into a growth area, a personal developmental area, where you let them go and heal. You let them go and do the work. But it's certainly not the work that you would do, going in blindly. Because once you get in, the work ain't gonna be done no more. Hello? Did you hear what I said? Oh, yeah. Once you get into the marriage, no more work is going to be done. You don't enter. Now, one chance. You get it? You don't enter one chance. So honestly, guys, we know what the red flags are. Honestly, it's very, very important that we develop our own list. No nos, boundaries around your spirituality, your relationship with God, your values, and the things that are no nos for you. And if they cross it, that's already a red flag. The way that they handle that situation will tell you that there is fire on the mountain. Now, I created some special affirmation for everyone that is, in courtship, or anyone that is looking for the right partner. I want you to say this after me. Excuse me. I will walk into this covenant with knowledge and understanding. If you are yet to be married, I want you to say this after me. I will walk into this covenant with knowledge and understanding. I will ask, I would observe, and I will discern with wisdom. I will build my future on truth, not fantasy. I am guided by God's wisdom, by God's love, by God's peace, and by God's clarity. My marriage will be purposeful, it will be peaceful, and it will be powerful in the name of Christ. So, ladies and gentlemen, as I wrap up, you must ask deep questions now so that you won't have to live with deep regrets later on. Because questions are not a sign of doubt, they are the proof of wisdom. If this message has been of any blessing to you, make sure that on YouTube, on podcast, you share it with everybody you know. Make sure that on Clubhouse, you get the replay and you share with everybody you know. And I look forward to seeing you in the next episode of the Be Transformed Tribe. Have a wonderful day. Bye. I am successful. I look for and find opportunities where others see nothing. I am a lifetime learner. I am solution focused. I see only solutions. I am a solution.